I've been with the school for 20 years now, so it's been a while. So right now I'm just gonna do this like more of a Q&A. So if anybody have any questions, um, you can let me know and we could start off like that. I think it would be easier.
I guess I'll get the ball rolling. Um,
Okay.
I guess my first question would be is what makes NYU stand out from any other dental school?
Um, I would say, I mean, one of the things that does make us stand out is we do have a large class. We do admit 380, about 380 students each year. Sorry about the noise outside. And okay, so sorry. We admit about 380 each year. And right now, we do have besides a large student body, we do have a large patient pool. So students have ample clinical experience when they graduate. And you start going to the clinics, getting experience as early as D1s, and start treating patients. You started in the spring semester of your second year. There's plenty of community outreaches throughout the community, international outreach programs. Unfortunately, right now, due to COVID, they have been suspended until further notice. Hopefully by next year, probably they'll be back. But right now, they're starting to do community outreaches, and they're doing it virtual. So it's more of a conversation with the community, talking to them, and depending on their, of their needs, they're referred to the clinics. Another thing is that right now, as earlier this year, the new clinic for the oral center for people with disabilities was opened. And this is something really new. They are D3s and D4 students are rotating through the clinic. So the students, once they graduate, they will be able to feel confident in treating people with disabilities and not afraid, because a lot of the clinics, private practices, unfortunately, they do turn these patients away because they don't have the ability, they don't have the confidence, they don't know how to treat them. So the next generations to come, they will know what to do.
Thank you very much.
Not a problem. We also have, well, the dental school has a lot going on. There's also a lot of research opportunities for you guys. As an entering class, so if you're admitted early on, you're able to apply for the summer research program. And this program is done in the month of June. Um, so, if you're admitted between December and, I would say, between January and February, you're able to apply to it. And if you're admitted, then you come for the month of June. You also have research opportunities as uh, an honors program and as an elective. And if you're very interested in pursuing research, and if you're good with your time management, you can go to the clinic. You could go to the clinical center for Bluestone Center for Research. You go to the biomaterials lab, and any other labs that are on the ninth floor that are a lot of research is going on. You can ask them to see what's going on, what projects they're doing, and maybe you will be able to, accept one of the programs, the projects, and just to make sure that you are good. You're responsible, and you will be able to complete these what is required of you. Another thing is that we have most of the PG programs in-house. So we offer uh, or periodontics, prosthodontics, orthodontics, pediatric dentistry, or maxillofacial surgery. Although this program, it is in with Bellevue Hospital, and there is a 6-year and a 4-year track. The difference with the 6-year and the 4-year is that with the 6-year, you will also graduate. You will have 2 more years because you will be graduating with a medical degree as well. Um, and endodontics. Forgot. So you will, as part of the curriculum, you will also rotate through these clinics so you could get ample experience. And also there are honors programs in these and electives for these specialty programs. And same as research, if you're really interested in one of these specialties, you could also go to the clinic and ask if you could shadow one of the PG students. And it's another way for you to get your foot into these specialties. Um, how's the interview process at NYU? Is it one-on-one? Yes. So the interview process, we begin our interviews in October and we end in March. So we do have a long process. It is one-on-one. You will meet with the faculty, one of our faculty members. And it's a random. They're not pre-selected, and it depends. 30 minutes, 45 minutes to an hour. Usually is there between 30 minutes, give or take. Unless you get one of our chatty faculty members. You could easily have an hour of the interview, and then you will meet with one of the admission officers. It's just like an informal post interview. We call it a post interview, just to make sure that we have all your prerequisites are completed, or if there's any pending, want to make sure that you do complete them before the program begins. Just to get to know you a little bit better. Why would you like NYU? What made you decide to pursue dentistry, and things like that. And the post interview usually 15 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes. They're short. And after these interviews are done, you have a Q&A with Dr. Mejia or with Richard Anchandia, who is the director of admissions. And then we have our student ambassadors that take you on tour of the school. Although at this moment, for this cycle, there won't be any tours, but we do have a PowerPoint or video that will show you, part of the school. Okay. What do we look for? Besides the obvious, your grades, your DT scores, we'd like to see what you've been doing. If you've been actively shadowing, doing volunteering, that you're honestly interested in pursuing the career. And obviously, the good grades, the average GPA, the DET scores for the class that began this July, a 3.4, 3.5 for the overall GPA, and around a 3.3, 3.4 for your science GPA, and a 2021 average on your DETs. Okay. NYU's best quality. I would say clinical experience and research. You do students when you enter your D3s, you will, first of all, you will inherit a patient roster, excuse me, from the D4s that are graduating, and it's a patient roster between 30, 40 patients, between 20 and 30 are active. So you do get a lot of experience, and as you go along, you'll be getting more patients, as well as those that are completing their treatment, and or some of them don't return. And I would say the students don't really have any issues getting patients. Saying that, but sometimes sometimes some students will have more requirements than others, saying that maybe you did more a prophy than the others, or a filling more than another. So in that case, you have the clinic manager and your GPD, your group practice director, that they will make sure that they will they will look into your roster, see what you've been doing, see your requirements, see if you completed, and if you're missing some, they will try to maybe swap patients with other students so that you could complete your requirements, and maybe that other student complete other requirements as well. And the only time that I would say the students do have issues getting patients is when they're going to do their license exam. Either it's the NERBs or the REBs. Because there's 380 students in trying to do the exam, maybe give or take for those, removing the people that are going to do the revs. They're only doing the revs. They're not going to do the nerves. Let's say 200 to 250 students that need to have a patient that has the same requirements. So that is a challenge to get 250 patients with the same requirements. So that's when it gets tricky, but that's why, and that's when the group practice and the patient manager and people that are in Clinic 1A, which is a registration clinic, come into play, and they help students find these patients for the exam. And it's very rare that a student misses the exam because they can't find a patient. Let me see. Okay, let me go back. How's the student and faculty ratio? It will depend. The student and faculty ratio will depend on the class and the lab. Usually, in the lab, there's 6 students to 8 students per row, and there could be 1 faculty per row, depending. Um, and the classrooms and the class, depending on the class, could be 16, 20 students to 1, maybe, or to 2 faculty. It will vary, but there are not that many students per faculty. Is there any clinical experience in D1 or D2? You do get to go into the clinics. They will pair you with a D3 or D4 so that you could shadow them. You will the beginning of one of the first things that you get to do in clinics is place sealants on children. And then when you go into outreach to the communities to do outreaches, you do mostly show them oral care, how to take care of their teeth, and of the oral hygiene. That's what you do in the first years. How is it clinical with a large body of students? So there's 5 floors of clinics. So in the first floor, we have our 1A, which is the new patient registration. So from D3, D4, from the second floor to the 5th floor, our clinics. So second floor is divided. There's the oral surgery clinic, and there's 1 group practice on the second floor. And between the 3rd and 5th floor, there are 2 group practices. And the way it's divided is there's a group practice A and B, and there's a class that will come. So let's say on the 3rd floor, you have the 3AB and 3BA, meaning that okay. So what happens is when 1 group comes in the morning, then the next group comes in the afternoon on each side, because there's 2 sides of the clinic. So the students that come in the afternoon, the following day will come in the morning, and and they're swapped like that. So there's usually the group practices between it's around 30 students per group practice. So they're allocated in different time slots. And as soon as you come in, your first day in class, the first day in orientation, you will already be assigned to a group practice, and that will be a group practice for the 4 years. So anything that's clinical related, you will have to go to that floor, to that clinic, and everything will be added into your schedule. Are students able to create their own class schedules? No. For the class schedules, no. It's not like undergrad that you could pick a day and time, and if you want to come in the afternoon, not in the morning. Right now, it's a block class schedule. So you will, as soon as you come in, you will get your schedule for the semester, and you will know what you have to do. And let's say when you select to do honors program for your senior year, that will already be included into your class schedule. Is there a hard cutoff for the GPA DAT? No, there isn't a hard cutoff. Yes, we do a holistic review of the application because every students are different. Some students will have a good GPA, but sometimes they won't do well on the DATs because they don't do well standardized tests, or it's the other way around. Good DATs, low GPA, or you're good all across the board, or you're not so, or you're weak across the board. We see everything. We see all the aspects. We see if you've done dental shadowing, uh, what kind of shadowing you've been doing, if you're active in the community, maybe you're in your academics, maybe you started off strong but then you ended off weak, or maybe your transition from high school to college wasn't, was rough, so your first semester wasn't good, but then you slowly improved throughout, throughout your second, third, and fourth years in school. Or maybe something happened in your life, your family, with yourself or friends, and it took a toll on you, so, and your grades went down. things Things happen, life happens, so we take all that into account and we understand, and we definitely try to help you, guide you to see, so that you, because we don't just want to bring in bodies and then, and you don't do well, because that's not our goal. We want you to come in, to strive, and to do well, and to excel. But sometimes, maybe as soon as you started dental school, it wasn't for you, and you don't do well. So we try to, try to bring students that we know that will handle the curriculum, that handle the classes, because it is um it's a difficult curriculum. It's a lot, and not that it's just difficult, your difficult courses, it's a lot thrown at you at one time. It's not like undergrad, you pace things out. This is like one after the other, so that's what we want to see, if you could, handle things. um I couldn't tell you how many classes it per semester, because um it's a lot. I would say usually you see it could be 30 credits, easily 30, 40 credits per year. So it's a lot. And sometimes courses are shorter than others, and you end them before the semester, or it's a semester, but then one course, it's a year long. So you have one semester, and you continue into the next. So it's difficult to say how many courses per semester. Uh, shadowing, the dental shadowing, the minimum is it's 100 hours, between 80 and 100 hours recommended. For additional volunteering, we don't have a minimum, but if you want, you could be around the same ballpark, around the same hours. Uh, is it okay to just shadow one general dentist throughout my 4 years? I think it's best if you can shadow specialist. Why? Because then you get to see the differences through the specialties. I don't, you never know. You might say you want to do ortho, but then you get a liking to do endo or perio. So it's good that you get to see everything. If you just shadow a general dentist, that's okay. It's sometimes we know it's difficult depending on the area that you live in. It's difficult to find a dentist that would allow you to shadow, and especially right now that with all the social distancing and it's difficult to find shadowing. So to dentist to shadow. So it's we understand if you can only find one. If a student's struggling, what resources does NYU provide? Okay. So at NYU, at the dental school, we do have through a student affairs, a student network. We do have two of our colleagues that will work closely to students if they need help. They will find you a peer tutor, and they will maybe they will talk with you. They will see maybe if you're having issues with your time management, or when you went from high school to college, some of you might have had to change your study skills, the way you study, your study habits, to accommodate your undergrad. And probably it will happen the same thing when you transition to dental school. The way you studied in undergrad is not the same way you're going to study for dental school. So they will help you find a way to improve your study skills, and for time management. Or maybe if you're not from New York, you're from Florida or from California and you're homesick, they will they will talk to you. And we do also have, forgot to mention this, as of last year, we have uh, um, therapist, someone that you could come in and talk to, if you're having, if you need like a mental break, or you're having some kind of issues and you need someone to speak with. So we do have a professional on campus, within the dental school, that you can come in to speak with. Also, as being an NYU student as a whole, through downtown, there's also other places that you could go to if you need help as well. Um, if you don't want to do it through the dental school, that's fine. You could go, we could give you the information where you could go, downtown to the main campus. Main campus, I would say, because it's, we're within the city, so it's difficult to say it's a campus. But we could, give you the information where you could go to speak with as well. So there's, and if it's a student that, that you need extra time to take exams, also through the Moses Center, through the main campus downtown, also you could speak with them and they can help arrange for this as well. Let's see. For the virtual shadowing hours, yes, we will take them. We do know, like I said before, because of the situation right now is difficult. We will take them and we will accept them along with if you've done previous shadowing hours as well. I have been working in ortho office for over 3 years as a sterile assistant. That counts as shadowing. Um, working as sterilization assistant, do they also allow you to shadow the dentist? Because sterilizing equipment and shadowing a dentist, it's okay. If they do, then it will, yeah. If they do let you, then yes, totally, it will count towards your shadowing hours. Not a problem. Any other questions? Mm, do you want to say something else?
Yeah, I'll ask a question, please.
Yeah, sure.
How does NYU view international applicants?
Since we're a private institution, we see all applicants as the same. We don't have an allotted seat for in-state or out-of-state applicants. Everybody applies, and they're all viewed the same. Tuition and everything is the same for everybody, so it's not a problem.
Thank you.
Not a problem. How does NYU shadow in other medical fields along with dentistry? Um, no, it's not a problem. We know sometimes at the beginning it's you do shadow other fields, other medical fields, professions to see what is it that you really want. So that's not a problem. It's okay. Um, but they will be viewed more as additional volunteering hours versus dental shadowing, because we want to see how many hours you did do as dental shadowing. What else? Any other questions? You can shout them out as well. Um,
How many, not how many, I guess, but how does NYU view like non-traditionals? I guess because I'm a older student. So
we welcome you as well. It's not a problem. We understand sometimes you have a change in life. Later in life that you want to change careers, or maybe it took you a little bit longer to reach where you are, and that's completely fine. As long as we see that you put in all the time and effort to complete your application on time, that you have all the requirements completed, and that you've done one of your DETs, and that's completely fine. The only thing I will say is you have to definitely make sure that your prerequisite courses are not they're not older than 10 years, because then probably you have to retake a class, or an upper level class for either it's biology or organic chemistry, or things like that. How is the acceptance rate percentage? Well, we have a class of 380, so we do accept around between 500 and 600 students. Yeah. Um, Usually after the first we see we admit. Okay, so as a whole, the dental schools, we can only send out admits in early December. Right now, the date was pushed back because of COVID, so I think it's the 15th of December that we will release our acceptances. And then usually by January we do see a melt, because students, the first they'll get the first round of students that get admitted will get into admitted to the classes that they to the school that they want to, or closer to home, or and then usually we do see another melt around May, June, when when students are getting ready to come in, they get off the wait list. Definitely, I have to be honest. NYU, it is expensive, but amongst the private universities, dental schools, the tuitions it's pretty much the same. What makes us a little bit more expensive than others, it's the living expensive, because to live in New York, Manhattan, it is expensive. So that what drives the tuition up. But yeah, you know, according to the in 2000, yeah, we do get between 3,000 4,000 applications. It depends on the year. Getting some courses that will be taken. Epidemiology, dental occlusion. You do see biochemistry. Your first year is your hard sciences, things like that. Um, any other questions?
I'll ask the question.
Yeah, go ahead.
How recently has the clinic been updated at NYU? Like, for example, is there any new technology that's been used at NYU, for example,
Technology. You got me
in
on that
terms
one. I do know
you know,
they do have the CAD cam. Um, you have your electronic the patient I'm sorry, I'm just blocking out right now. The patient files are all electronic now. That one, for some reason, it took a while for the school to go electronic, but now it is. um yeah, I'm sorry on that one. I'm sorry, I'm not really sure about the technology, but I do know that it is they do try to keep up with what's coming out on technology. I have to
like,
get back. I would have to get back on you with that one.
all right, thank
Can you give some courses that will be? What are you most proud of about your dental school? Huh. Um, I would say that we do have a good sense of community. We do, um, it is a big school. It is hard to get. It is easy to get lost within so many people, so many students. Um, because you have to understand, there's 380 students per year. In the second year, you get 30 more students or international dentists that come into the dental school. You have your you have your 52 PG clinics per year as well, and your dental hygiene students. So it is a lot going on, and I think you know it's a big community. We do have a lot of and it is diverse in patient, diverse in students as well. Um, what I was going to say, I'm sorry. Um, yeah. So, oh my God, I just lost what I was gonna say. I'm so sorry. Um, Collaboration with the other universities, not really, but we do have our international outreach programs. But unfortunately, because of COVID, they were suspended until further notice. We don't know when they will go back to But we've gone to Nepal, to Grenada, to Nicaragua, to Ecuador, Mexico. I believe they've gone to India as well. So yeah, we do, and every 3 or 4 years they do go out and search other new places to go to as well. Yeah. Um, Questions? The characteristic of students. Like I was saying before, students, because it is a large student group, you could easily get lost in transition. If this is something that you really want to, you need to make sure that you reach out to the faculty, and the faculty are very friendly. They're very open up to the students. If you have any issues, they're open to answer any questions. Make sure that stand out. Make sure you do well. Be there, be on time with your requirements. Help other students, help each other. It's easier to get along, and it's easier to do well that way if you're, like the other questions, the sense of community, um yeah, because 380 students, you're competing all against one another to do well. So it's best to get along, to help each other so that you all could succeed. you know a gap year, it's okay. We understand sometimes you want to do a gap year. You're tired of studying, for so many years, 12 years plus 4, 16 years. You have some students who want to get a breather. That's fine. But do use that time wisely. You can, if you haven't done enough shadowing, do shadowing that time. If you feel like you need to strengthen up, you know, in biology or chemistry, do so. Some students want to work, because NYU, New York City is expensive. You want to save up for that, so it's completely fine. It's not a problem. Um, any other questions?
Yeah, I'll ask a question.
Sure.
How hard is it for students who graduate to find employment in New York, considering that there are so many dental students in the city at NYU and Columbia as well?
Um, well, we do have a lot of out of state students, out of state students. So a lot of the students do return to their state, home state. NYU in New York City, it is a competitive city to work in, but there's there's space for everybody. I've never heard of any students having issues finding work here. The only thing you do have to take into consideration, that if you do want to practice in New York State, not just New York City, but New York State, you do have to do a GPR, a residency program for a year, or do a postgraduate program that it's a minimum of 2 years. But if and any other states, I think right now, New York State is the only state with this requirement, so you could practice in any other state. The GPR, you can do it in any other state. It doesn't have to be done here in within New York State. Do you manage applications by date, or you manage them in August, for example? Applications are, no, there isn't a time frame of when we receive applications. We do try to do them as they come in, but as soon as the application is completed, it is reviewed. If you apply early, there's a stigma that if you don't apply early, you won't get reviewed. It's not necessarily true. Our applications process is long, so we accept applications as soon as they start, access opens up, until the deadline. And like I said before, we do interview up until March, so you could be reviewed anytime between July August that we start getting applications up until February. And maybe if you're still in school, but we see that your application is not strong enough, we might want to hold off on your sending out a decision letter until we get your fall grades. And so maybe we say, okay, you finished strong, you did your fall semester was good, and we could say, okay, he could be invited for an interview for January, for February, and things like that. So yeah, sometimes you do apply early, but you might get interviewed, or your application could be reviewed until September, October, November. Okay, so just think about um any other questions that you are interested in? Mm. So is anybody from New York here in this group?
I was born there, but moved down to North Carolina when I was like 5. But most of my family still lives in New York.
No, that's good. Do you come from time to time?
From time to time, yeah. But I'm in Florida now, and New York's really cold. I've discovered the warmth.
Oh no,
But I
cold is
love
good.
snow. I love
Cold,
snow.
cold is good. It's nice. It's good
Yeah,
for you.
it's my favorite.
Okay. Can we apply for dental school while still doing our bachelor's? Yes. Yes, you can. You can apply while you're still in your senior year. Just make sure that you complete and you graduate before you begin the program in July, and that all your requirements are done as well. Not a problem. What do you consider strong applications, GPA, overweight, DATs? Like I said before, a strong application, I mean, it could be someone that has a high interest, that's they've been involved, with the dental shadow within the community. Does the GPA outweigh the DAT? Not necessarily the DATs. I think it is an important aspect of the application, but it's not the only one. Um, so, like I said, if you have a good DAT, but your GPA is like, on the lower side, maybe it's not as high as the DATs, we could still consider you. We like I said, we do a holistic review, so we see everything. So, because the grades, like I said, you could have started weak, but you ended off strong, or the other way around, or somewhere in between, something didn't go right, and your grades went down, but you you fixed it and you did well. So, yeah, it's very difficult to say what is a strong application.
Is there like I know some schools do, like I think it's like the last 60 credit hours or something like that, like because you're talking about like if you did better, I guess what I'm trying to say is students who have a finishing with a higher trend of grades, I guess.
Yeah.
Like, is that more how it's viewed, or?
um we do see your academic trend. Like I said, it's if for some reason you started off weak, but you gradually improve your grades, that is indicative that that you readjusting yourself, that you're making sure that your study habits, you're changing it along with the courses, and things like that. Some students, they're just straight A's throughout the 4 years. They have a strong GPA throughout, and some students are blessed like that. But some students, need that extra help into to improve, to do well. So we take into consider we take everything into consideration.
Okay, makes sense. Thank you.
Not a problem. Research, no, research is not a requirement for us. Not everybody likes to do research, so we can't hold it against everybody. But if you do like research, great. If you don't, that's okay. We don't hold, it's not a negative on your application. And because also research, not everybody does research within the dental field. You do research, so different topics. So yeah, so we can't that's why it's one of the reasons why it's not a requirement. um Anything else? Um, so one of the things I do wanted to mention is that you will be assigned before you begin the program. You will be assigned a peer mentor. It's an upperclassman. Some of them either D2 or between D2 and D4, and they will reach out to you before classes, before orientation, just to welcome you and to see how things, if you have any questions, things like that. Then you will also be assigned to a faculty mentor, but I believe the faculty will be assigned to you probably after within a week or two after you begin. So if you have any questions, you can definitely go to that faculty. Your group practice director usually is also someone that you could go to. They usually sometimes you have uh, depending on the group practice, if they're more on the younger side, they're more hip, and they're more in tune with the students, so they go out to have pizza or pasta night, things like that. So it's something good to do to be involved with. Um, so for someone who lives in South Florida and hypothetically speaking, struggle with yeah, it's doable. We do get students that come from the south to the north. I think the first winter is tough on anyone that comes from a tropical climate. But I just say embrace it. The cold is nice. The cold is nice, so it's good. But yeah, you'll survive. No worries. Do we AP credits? So the AP credits for the prerequisites. It depends on how many credits you have per subject on the for the prerequisites. So let's say if you have 8 credits for biology, we will consider 4, meaning that you will still have to do a course to complete the 8 credit requirement. And that goes for all the required courses. And if you have just 4 credits for requirement, then that will be it will go towards your required courses. Can you give a few examples of different clubs that we can join when? Oh, student clubs. Yes, that's one of the things I was going to mention. Yes, so I'm sorry. There are different varieties of student clubs throughout the school. At the dental school, you have your clubs regarding specialty clubs, ortho, endo, oral surgery, anything. You have your cultural clubs. You have your you know knitting clubs, salsa clubs. There's so many clubs, different clubs that you can apply to, and you can apply to more than one. Join more than one is not a problem. Even if even if you find something that you think that interests you, but it's not a club, you can speak with someone in student affairs, and you could start it on your own. You could they'll guide you and tell you what is it that you need to do, so that you could start it. So something that you've done while in undergrad, and you think you want to continue doing it in dental school, you can do that. And also, as being part of NYU, you could also join clubs from throughout the campus, not just through the dental school as well. Do anyone like to see have taken upper level science classes as my yes. If you've taken upper level sciences, yes, definitely. It is always a plus. Why? Because it'll just make you have a stronger background for when you begin when you begin dental school. It is always a plus. So yeah, if you've taken, great. If you haven't taken them, that's fine. It's not a problem. No, for the math AP, no. It's the what I mentioned is only like for biology, for organic chemistry, general chemistry. Those, if you have AP credits for these subjects, they will count towards your requirement for your required courses. So if you've taken them in high school, if the university that you went to transfer them into onto your transcript and give you a grade for it and credit value, we will take it as well. For math, we don't have any math requirements. So, if you've taken them, great. Um, Working as a dental will be more as a dental experience. Not so much as dental shadowing, but it will be considered as a dental experience. So it's fine. And we take them for at least when I do reviews, I do include dental experience and dental shadowing as I put them together. So it's fine. Um, so when I did mention it before, but I didn't go into it as much detail. The honors programs. So the honors programs, kind of like the student clubs that you're interested in. Their student you have them in research and all the specialties in TMJ or aesthetics. So you have different types of honors program, and it's you need to apply to that. So you apply to it in your third year when you're in your D3 year, and you will that will take place in your senior year. So you usually go to the clinic once, I think it's once a week, and so as soon as you begin your D4 year, it'll already be included into your curriculum, so that I'm sorry, curriculum into your class schedule, so that you wouldn't have to worry about asking permission, in your group practice or your if you have any labs or any courses, any lectures, that because you will be in this completing the honors program. So in order to apply, you would have to be in good academic standing and make sure you're up to date with all your clinical requirements. And the same goes for when you want to apply for the global outreach programs. Um, you will be, for all these deadlines and application process, you will get emails from each department of when the application will open and when the deadline is. And they will tell you what you need to do, and you will have to be in good academic standing is one of them. Make sure you're all up to date with your clinical requirements. So it's one of the things that it's interesting that you could do as well. Questions as I remember others.
With the exception of the specialty clubs, um, are students given the opportunity to, like, I guess, observe the specialties like OFMS and orthodontics so that they could see if they actually want to do those specialties versus general dentistry?
Yeah, definitely. You can, you know, you will. It's a part of the curriculum for you to rotate within these clinics. But as a student, you can, if you're interested, you can go to the because so the building is two buildings in one, and they're connected by double doors. So you just have to cross the hallway to go to one of the to the perio clinic, or that's on the fourth floor, or no, on the fifth floor, and process on the fourth floor. So you could just go there, and on your, but to do this, it's on your free time.
Okay.
Right. You could go there and tell them, you're interested and you want to see if you could, if you get a chance to shadow one of the dental, the PG students, which shouldn't be a problem.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Not a problem. Any other questions? I want to go through the chat to see if I missed anything. Anybody else has any questions?
I think that might be everything for tonight. It looks like.
Okay, so yeah, if anyone is applying, is anybody applying this cycle or until next cycle?
Next cycle.
Personally, next cycle.
Next cycle. Okay. Ooh, Sarah. Okay. Have you submitted your application already?
I'm about to, yes.
Okay, just send us a quick email once you submit your application. That way we could track you. Yeah, good luck, and for those that are applying next cycle, good luck as well. Any questions you have
Thank
going
you.
forward, send us an email, give us a call. That's what we're here for. I think you will get a notification, an email to maybe tomorrow, just saying thank you for for today, and going forward, if we have any webinars, because usually we do have webinars every every once a month or every other month, just to go over the process, talk about the school, things like that. You're most definitely are welcome to apply to. Usually between the month of March and April, we do have an open house where we do offer, there's a student panel, and sometimes we invite some of our recent graduates, and a tour of the school. But because of COVID, I don't know what's going to happen next year. Maybe it's going to go online. This year's open house, we did have to cancel it. I don't think we did anything online for this cycle because it was too short of a time. But for next year, we will notify everybody via email of what's going on. And also make sure the link, I'll post the link again. Make sure you sign in, you register so you can get these notifications. And through our website, if you want to schedule like a one-on-one meeting with one of our admission officers, you could go to our website. Let me get the link as well for you guys. So, let's say in a month or so, or before you submit your application, if you want to do that, you could go ahead and sign in. You'll pick a day and the time that is available for you, and you get, we have 30-minute slots for you to chat with us to see what's going on. And walk you through the process and any questions that you might have. Here it is. The second link is for the virtual visits. So yeah. Well, it was so nice meeting you all. Any other questions?
Quick note.
No, thank you so much for your time.
Not a problem. It's always a pleasure.
You actually sent the same link twice by accident, I think.
I did? Oh, so sorry.
No worries.
There you go. That's the second. That's one.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. So nice meeting you all. Good luck. Any questions? Make sure you could call us, send us an email. That's what we're here for, to guide you. If anyone goes onto student.net, it's not always a good place to find information. Call us directly, because schools vary, requirements vary from school. Well, not the requirements, but process may be vary from school to school. Maybe what works for one school doesn't work for us. So, we always want to guide you on the right path. So reach out to us. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome. It's so nice to talking to you. Take care.
Thank
you so much.
Take care, Mrs.
You're
Elias.
You're welcome. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
You're welcome.